Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and this is my performance review of the Nike Kyrie 8 Infinity. So the retail price is 120 bucks, or at least that's what StockX says. On their site it says retail price is 120 bucks. It's not out in the US, so we don't know what the actual price of the Kyrie 8 is, but that is $10 less than the actual Kyrie 7. So they decreased the price by $10, which is very unusual. Nike usually doesn't do that. They usually increase the price, right? And also the Kyrie 8 has more tech than the Kyrie 7 because of the zoom strobe. So I mean, I would have guessed it would have stayed at least 130 bucks or maybe even increased the price by $10, but StockX is saying 120 bucks. But either way, it's not available in the US, but you guys can get it on like StockX or GOAT if you would like. So if you guys do want to get it, I'll try to leave an affiliate link in the description box, but let's get started right off with the tracciones. And as far as the traction pattern goes, we have like a multi-directional, and it's kind of like a herringbone pattern. It's multi-directional and it kind of like stays this same pattern throughout this entire outsole. We have Kyrie Irving's signature here in the midfoot, and we have an 8 or the infinity symbol here in the heel. And of course we can also see the heel zoom unit, which is exposed through the bottom of the shoe. So here in the forefoot we have like an oval shaped pod with some spikes on the sides and also more spikes in the middle. You know, it's kind of like a different color here on the lateral and medial side of the shoe. So how's the traction? So at first it wasn't great. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it was like not a great bite, right? So I was pretty disappointed in it because the overall shoe felt pretty damn nice when I first started playing in it, but as I kept playing in it and kept breaking it in, it got a lot better. And after like a couple days to like a week, it got pretty damn good. And then I kept playing in it and now it's really good. It's solid. I definitely wouldn't say it's the best traction, like top tier, but it's definitely really good. I had no issues when I was playing on a clean court. It had a solid bite. As far as dust goes, it also doesn't pick up dust that much. I mean, it picks up dust a little bit, but not that frequently. And also it's a very easy wipe. You just go boom and like 1 or 2 wipes and you're good to go. Super easy to wipe off. So the performance on dust was actually pleasant. I really had no issues with playing on a dusty setting. As far as durability goes though, durability is, I don't think it's going to be good at all. The rubber is super soft and the grooves are super thin. I guess the grooves are deep, but you know, I don't think it's going to be very durable, especially since my experience in the Kyrie 7 was just so bad on an outdoor court. So do not play with the Kyrie 8 on an outdoor court. So the overall traction was very good and very solid. The only thing was you have to break it in. Also, a nice little bonus is the outsole curvature as always. Here in the Kyrie 8 though, it is pretty flat. Especially comparing to like the Kyrie 2, 3, and 4. The 2, 3, and 4 started to curve up from like the middle of the outsole here and just had a very sharp curve up. The Kyrie 8 as well as the Kyrie 7 and Kyrie 6 are more just flat and kind of curve up more at the edge right here where the ball of your foot is. So in my personal opinion, I don't like that as much because I really like the curved shape. But it's still a nice curve here, and also of course we have the rubber outsole wrapping up here on the medial side, so you get more grip when you're doing these types of movements. So the overall traction was very enjoyable for me. Moving on to the heel to toe transition, also it's super smooth here in the Kyrie 8. So here in the heel we have a very nice curved shape, fully exposed midsole. Although there's not a crazy amount of compression from the foam, it's not like super stiff, you know, there is a little bit of compression. Also in the forefoot, it's a crazy curve shape, look at that. And look at all of that flex here in the forefoot. And Kyrie's usually don't flex in the forefoot just because from the Kyrie 5, the 6, and also the 7, which all use Zoom Turbo, I feel like the Zoom Turbo unit just didn't allow the forefoot to flex, right? But here in the Kyrie 8, we have the Zoom Strobo unit, and that allows the forefoot to flex a lot. So heel to toe transition is super smooth. When you're doing heel dominant strides down the court, it feels very nice. Now moving on to the cushioning setup, which is one of my favorite parts about this shoe, right? So we have a full length phylon is what I'm guessing. It's not crazy nice. I mean, here in the heel, like I said, there's a little bit of compression, but nothing crazy. I definitely would say it's a little bit softer than the older Kyrie models, like the Kyrie 2 and the Kyrie 3, which were absolutely stiff, like a rock. This one, there's a little bit more give, I would say just a tiny bit, but it's still not the best. But of course, we have the very large volume Zoom Strobo unit here in the forefoot, and if you remove the insole, you can definitely see it. And it's super bouncy, there's a good amount of compression, and it feels really nice. And I really enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it's like too much or anything. And also comparing it to the Zoom GT Run, which also has the same exact unit in the forefoot, the GT Run, the Zoom unit in the forefoot bulged up a lot, and it made my toes and like my forefoot kind of like higher than my heel a little bit, and it definitely did not feel great. It kind of felt uncomfortable actually. But here in the Kyrie 8, I did not have that problem for some reason. It just feels more flat, and that definitely made me like the Kyrie 8 cushion a lot more. And also another thing that I really like about the Kyrie 8 is the court feel. It's extremely low to the ground. Like I was trying the entire Kyrie line out, like the Kyrie 1, 2, 3, all the way to the 7. And with the Kyrie 8 on the other foot, and the Kyrie 8 definitely felt a lot lower to the ground than all the previous Kyries, which I really like. You know, the Kyries usually have good court feel, but then the Kyrie 8, they just did something different, and it feels really low to the ground, like the Curry 9 or the Curry 8, or even like the Harden Volume 4 or the Harden Volume 3, which were super low to the ground. So I really like the court feel. Impact protection is really good in the forefoot. In the heel, for heel strikes, not the best. And of course, it's super bouncy here in the forefoot as well. So overall, I really liked it. But at first, when I was playing in it, the forefoot, I didn't really like all too much just because it made my foot hurt. And it kind of reminded me of like, if you guys have ever been hurt and then you're rehabbing like your knee or your ankle, and if you guys have ever seen like a Bosu ball, you know that like large plastic inflatable ball, but it's like half, and there's like hard plastic, and then like, you know, you're on top of it and you're rehabbing your knee or whatever, trying to stabilize and strengthen your muscles and joints, right? That I kind of felt the same pain in my foot a little bit, right? So kind of like my arch and like where the ball of my foot is, or maybe even like my toes, like the joints, or I don't know what it was. I feel like it was trying to stabilize, like my forefoot was trying to stabilize on that zoom unit, because the zoom unit is just so thick and large that I definitely felt a little bit of pain when I first started playing, like the first couple of times, but I definitely am used to it now. It doesn't like hurt at all. So just if it hurts at first, just give it a little bit of time. But overall, I really like this cushioning setup, and I feel like it's the best cushioning setup that the Kyries have ever had. And also there is a heel zoom unit. As you guys can see, it's exposed here in the heel with this like infinity symbol. But the heel zoom unit doesn't really do a whole lot. I didn't really feel like any type of compression from the heel zoom at all. So that definitely does suck, but the addition of the zoom strobo unit in the forefoot kind of like outshines the lackluster heel zoom unit. Now moving on to the materials, I really like this material. So here in the forefoot, and it kind of extends all the way here into the midfoot, it's like this very, like, look at how thin it is. It's extremely thin, very minimal, super soft as well. And it doesn't feel that cheap either. You know, it actually feels pretty damn nice. It doesn't feel glued down either. It feels great on foot, conforms to your foot very well too. So the material here in the toe box feels great. And also, I love the tongue. It's an oversized tongue. It's very large. It goes pretty damn high on the foot. We got some leather material here with Kyrie Irving's signature. And just look at how thick it is, guys. There's just so much padding. And it just feels so cozy and comfortable on top of your foot, as well as the padding here in the ankle area. It reminds me a lot of the Kyrie 6. And it feels super cozy and very comfortable. I just like the combination of the coziness that you get here in the back of the shoe, and then the minimal feel that you get here in the front of the shoe. I feel like it's a great combination. It's not too much padding where it feels like super bulky to me either. And also here for the panels in the heel area, we have some leather materials, and here in the back of the heel, we have some textile material with some stitching and some more leather here. So the overall materials, the quality is pretty damn nice, and it feels amazing on foot. Alright, moving on to the fit of the shoe. It fits me very well. Kyrie's usually fit me extremely well. So I went true to size, and my toes pretty much go right to the edge of the shoe. Very good fit for length. And then for width, I would say it's slightly narrow, and in the toe box, it's quite snug. It's not as snug as like the Kyrie 7 was, unfortunately, because I like a very snug and very tight fit, but it's still a snug fit. There's just a little bit more toe space, and I could curl my toes up just a tiny bit more. So if you tried the Kyrie 7 on and you thought it was a little too snug or a little bit too tight in the toe box, the Kyrie 8 is a little bit looser, and also the materials do stretch out over time, so it gets even roomier. So if you've ever wanted a Kyrie with a little bit more of a looser fit, then the Kyrie 8 is a good option for you guys. And like I said, I like a super snug fit, but I did not mind the fit here in the Kyrie 8. As far as the support and lockdown goes, I had no issues with lateral containment. So here in the forefoot, we have a little bit of the leather coming up, acting as a sidewall as well as the foam. Here in the midfoot, we have more leather. And then here in the heel, we have an internal TPU heel counter, as well as the foam coming up a little bit. So lateral containment, my foot was contained into the shoe, and Kyrie's have never had any issues with lateral containment because Kyrie is just so shifty, and they have to make shoes where his foot is not going to slide out of the footbed. So, I mean, yeah, the Kyrie 8 has phenomenal lateral containment. As far as lateral stability goes, it's still very, very good here in the Kyrie 8. So as far as an outrigger goes, there's not a crazy outrigger. I guess we have this like little plastic piece that doesn't really do a whole lot. It looks cool though, and it says what does it say? It says zoom or Strobel zoom. But it is a wide base, like the midfoot does protrude out here, so lateral stability was very good. And as far as the ankle protection goes, I don't know what it is, but it's pretty high, right? But then maybe it's like the extra foam here where it allows my ankle to move a little bit more. I don't know what it is, but ankle support wasn't the best. I could freely move my ankle pretty much very, very comfortably. And it felt very, very good. You know, for me personally, I like to have a low top and I like to have very good ankle mobility. So if you're looking for ankle support, the Kyrie 8 isn't the best. And now moving on to the weight of the shoe. If I remember correctly, it was pretty light, right? Like 12 point something? Yeah, 12.28 ounces. Let's check the right pair, 12.17 ounces. So that's a little bit lighter than average weight. And especially comparing it to like the older Kyries, like the Kyrie 6 and the Kyrie 5, those were pretty damn heavy, like 13.5 I think. So they definitely did shed off a lot of weight. So the Kyrie 7, super light and very, very minimal feeling. Also super fluid and very flexible, especially since the sole is so flexible comparing it to the older Kyrie. So I really like how that felt. And also it's a very responsive feeling shoe. You know, the traction's good. You get that nice bounce in the forefoot. Felt very responsive. The materials are super thin here in the forefoot, but also very cozy here in the ankle area. So it's just a very nice overall great feeling shoe. And also the weight distribution of the shoe is very good as well. It's not bottom heavy, it's not too heavy here in the ankle compared to the forefoot. I feel like it's a very good balance of weight here in the Kyrie 8. Alright, moving on to the ventilation of the shoe. So through this like textile material, there is a good amount of airflow, and like I said, this material is extremely thin, so it felt pretty cool here in the toe box. But then here in the tongue and the ankle area, there's a lot of padding, so it gets a little bit warm. So I would say the ventilation of the Kyrie 8 is pretty good. Now moving on to the aesthetics, I really like it. It definitely did grow on me. It kind of looks like a mix of like the Kyrie 6 and I don't know what else, but it looks like a different version of the Kyrie 6 to me. And as far as the colorways that have come out, there's not a whole lot of colorways. There's the Sue Bird one, there's this one, and then the Black Ice one, I believe. And they're okay. Kyrie 7 definitely had really cool colorways, but either way, the Kyrie 8 still looks great. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, the Kyrie 8 is amazing, guys. I really, really like it, and I definitely feel like it's a good evolution in his entire line, right? So the one thing that I wish would come back is the crazy outsole curvature with the crazy curve up from the middle of the outsole, but that's not a huge deal. But everything else about the shoe is amazing, and I really wouldn't change anything about the shoe. Maybe make the foam a little bit softer, but that's not a huge deal. I love the court feel. Zoom Strobel unit in the forefoot is great. Traction is good. The materials, like I keep saying, are very, very nice and minimal here in the forefoot, and super cozy and comfortable here in the back. It looks great. It's a light feeling shoe. You feel responsive, and I feel like most people will enjoy this shoe, you know? The only reason that I feel like you wouldn't like this shoe is if you don't like Zoom Strobel. If you don't like to feel that crazy compression and crazy bounce, especially in the forefoot, this probably isn't the best option. You know, I know some people that don't like Zoom Strobel, so stay away from this shoe if that's the case. But everything else, like if you're a guard and you're looking for a responsive shoe that has good cushion, but also very lightweight and good court feel, Kyrie 8, great option. If you're a big dude and you're looking for good cushion and good support, the Kyrie 8 is still a great option. So I feel like most people will be happy with this shoe. But anyways, that about concludes my review of the Nike Kyrie 8 Infinity. Again, if you guys do want to get it, I'll try to leave a link in the description box, but that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.